The stars looked calm, distant, and peaceful. But deep in that silence, something deadly moved. The Zarkith fleet floated at the edge of Earth's solar system. 30 warships, sharp, black, and massive. Their hulls glowed with blue plasma veins. Each ship had enough firepower to destroy a planet. Together, they had crushed entire civilizations. Earth would be no different. Inside the command ship Drelvax, Supreme Admiral Vorik watched the blue planet ahead. His 4 eyes blinked slowly. No defense stations, no space fleet, no energy spikes, the sensors officer reported. Vorik nodded. Earth is weaker than expected. Another officer laughed.
I hate.
They still use chemical rockets, primitive. They should have surrendered like the others, Vorik said coldly. Now we burn their planet. But something bothered him. The planet was quiet, too quiet. No hails, no warnings, no desperate messages. Just silence. Scan again, he ordered. The crew checked. Same results. Earth was still, almost lifeless from this distance. Then a signal flickered. Admiral, we have movement. Object rising from behind their moon. Show it. The screen lit up. A single shape. Drifted into view, it was massive, easily the size of a city. Black, slow, and silent. No energy output. No weapons active. It could be an old station, said the analyst. Vorik frowned. Zoom in. The image sharpened. It wasn't a station. It was a ship. Smooth black armor covered every inch. No windows, no markings. Just a glowing red ring along its base. Strange design, Vorik muttered. It's moving toward us. Speed, very slow. Non-aggressive. Sublight only. Vorik turned to his weapons chief. Destroy it. The nearest warship locked on and fired. A plasma lance. Streak of blue light shot through the void and struck the object. The light vanished on contact. No damage detected. What? Vorik stepped forward. Fire again. This time 5 ships fired together. Plasma beams. Kinetic torpedoes. Fusion bombs. The silent object was swallowed by fire. The flames cleared. It was still there. Not a scratch. Then, something changed. The red ring at the base of the ship began to rotate. A deep humming sound echoed through their own ship's combs, like a growl from some ancient beast. Energy spike detected, shouted the sensor officer. The ship lit up with red lines, hundreds of them glowing like veins beneath its armor. Then, one of the closest Zarkith ships, the Karthos, began to shake. No weapons fired, the gunner reported. But Admiral the Karthos is disintegrating. The crew watched in horror. The Karthos's hull twisted inward. Armor plates folded like paper. Lights exploded. Then the entire ship collapsed into a tiny sphere smaller than a speck before vanishing with a pop of blue light. No impact. No beam. Just gravity, whispered one officer.
Oh, what is this thing?
Vorik demanded. The ship finally sent a signal. Not words, not numbers, just coordinates. Earth's moon. The message repeated once, then silence again. Admiral, we need orders. The fleet was panicking. Another ship tried to retreat, but before it could jump, it too crumpled in on itself and disappeared. Vorik felt something cold in his chest. Fear, true fear. He hadn't felt it in decades. Fall back, form a line, he shouted. But the black ship kept moving, still slow, still silent. And yet each second it grew more terrifying. Then came the voice. It echoed in every Zarkith ship at once. Male. Calm human. This is the Titan-class warship Leviathan, representing the planet Earth. You are trespassing in human space. You will leave, or you will be erased. Vorik's hearts beat faster. How is this possible? Someone asked. They have no space program, no records of a Leviathan ship, said another. Send everything we've got, Vorik barked. All remaining ships opened fire. Missiles, plasma, railguns, waves of blue and green. Energy streaked through space. The Leviathan disappeared. No flash, no warp trail. 1 second it was there, The next it wasn't. Did we hit it? Vorik asked. No, it's gone. Vanished. Then one by one, the Zarketh ships began to vanish too, but not in explosions. No alarms, no attacks, no energy signals, just ... gone. Admiral, we're losing ships randomly? No, cause detected? Jump, get us out of here. The Drelvax tried to activate its FTL drive. Nothing, Admiral, a technician said. Our drive is offline. Why? The technician's hands trembled. Something is bending space around us. We're trapped. On the edge of the view screen, something appeared. A shape. A shadow. The Leviathan. It was behind them. The black ship reappeared, this time closer. Much closer. A second signal arrived. This time it spoke clearly, slowly. Final warning. Leave. Vorik stared at the screen. The shape wasn't just large, it was enormous. It dwarfed the Drelvax. It dwarfed them all. This is not a warship, he whispered. It's a god. In desperation, he opened a channel. This is Admiral Vorik of the Zarketh Coalition, he said. We request parley. Silence. Then the Leviathan responded. Earth does not negotiate with slavers. Every Zarketh officer froze. How do they know? Someone gasped. Vorik slammed his fist on the console. We cannot let this ship leave. It knows too much. But before he could speak again, the Leviathan began glowing with red and silver light. Then a pulse shot out slow, wide, and cold. When it hit the Drelvax, every system shut down. Darkness, only the stars remained. Then the lights returned just for a moment, and on the screen, Earth appeared, larger than ever, spinning quietly. Beneath them, and in orbit, more shapes. Not one, not two. 555 Titan-class warships. The Leviathan was not alone, and Earth had never been helpless. It had simply been waiting for the right moment. And now, it had arrived. The Zarketh fleet was gone. Earth remained, and the galaxy would never be the same. The wrecks of Zarketh warships drifted silently in Earth's orbit. Burnt metal floated like forgotten graves. No fires, no black boxes, just shattered holes in silence. The survivors didn't understand what had happened. No energy signatures. No missile trails. Nothing that made sense. 3 scout ships moved carefully between the wrecks. Each one carried engineers, scientists, and tacticians experts in alien warfare. They scanned every fragment, searching for a clue. Inside one wreck, they found the remains of a command bridge. It looked untouched, yet all internal systems were fried. Screens melted. Armor turned to dust. Artificial gravity collapsed. Whatever weapon the humans had used, it attacked from inside. There was no breach, one Zarketh scientist whispered. Nothing entered this ship. How is that possible? The commander barked. There was no energy burn, no kinetic. Impact, it's like space itself crushed the ship. Then how do we fight that? No one answered. Far in the distance, something moved again. The black warship. The Leviathan had hovered calmly over Earth's orbit, like a sleeping beast. It didn't chase. It didn't speak. It simply waited. Admiral Vorik now returned to his deep space command station. Watched it from millions of kilometers away. What? Do we know? He asked. A Zarketh tactician stood tall. The object is confirmed as a warship, possibly AI-operated. It uses unknown physics gravity control, localized space folding, and energy redirection. And how did Earth build this? They didn't, at least, not in open view. No signals, no radio. Our spies on Earth missed it completely. They were watching Earth for 50 years, Vorik growled. They watched Earth's surface, not the dark side of its moon. The Admiral's face twisted. You're telling me they built this in the shadows? Hidden in a crater? How deep? Underground, shielded, silent. They never powered it up until we arrived. Vorik stepped forward. A ship like this would take centuries to construct. Humans are patient and paranoid. Suddenly, an alarm rang out. Jump signature detected. Sector Deltanine. Vorik turned. Who is it? The screen lit up. Another human warship. This one was smaller, but still massive. Its shape was sleeker, more curved. It shimmered in and out of visible space like a mirage. The data feed confirmed it. Another Titan class, codenamed Cerberus. We didn't even detect the jump, the technician whispered. Vorik's eyes widened. They're deploying. More. What do we do? One commander asked. Call for reinforcements? We already have, Vorik said. Fleet Omega is en route. 120 ships. And if they fail, then we learn what it means to fear Earth. Across the stars in Earth's orbit, the Cerberus glided beside the Leviathan. The two ships sent no signal, no message. They didn't need to. Were brothers, designed in silence, built by hands that had survived every kind of war. Inside the Leviathan, systems hummed softly. Its core AI, codenamed Goliath, ran calculations. At quantum speed, in a small chamber deep inside, one human stood alone, Commander Elise Rourke. She had trained her entire life for this. Her family had helped design the Titan class. Her grandparents had survived Earth's last global war. Her father had died building this ship. She stood before a glowing map of the solar system. Red dots flickered. Zarkith ships still scattered across nearby sectors. But more were coming. She pressed a button. Activate Titan Core Protocol. Defense. Phase 2. The ship responded in a calm voice. Confirmed. Defense Phase 2 engaged. Cerberus ready. Then another voice came through her comms. This one human, male, confident. Leviathan, this is Cerberus. Systems green. Orders. Stand by, Rourke replied. We wait until they make the next move. And the move came. 3 Zarketh fleets dropped into orbit at once. In 20 ships, all armed, all ready for war. Their arrival shook the solar system. Gravity surged. Sensor waves rippled. Energy signatures lit up. Inside the Leviathan, warning lights flashed. Inside Zarkith, flagship Threxel, Admiral Kor took command. We overwhelm them, he declared. One ship cannot fight a fleet. Crush them before they disappear again. Ships locked weapons, plasma, antimatter, fusion cores, all primed. Then they fired. A storm of destruction tore across space. Thousands of blasts converged on the 2 Titan-class ships. For 30 seconds, it looked like the humans would be buried in light. But when the fire cleared, the Leviathan and Cerberus remained. Not a scratch. Their shields had rippled, but held. Then, the humans responded. The Leviathan's core began to spin. A massive ring unfolded from its belly, 3 kilometers wide. It charged for 6 seconds. Then it fired. Not a beam, not a missile. It fired gravity itself. A wave of folded space bent the void ahead of it, pulling 5 Zarkith ships into each. Other like toys in a drain. Their hulls cracked, their engines collided. Then they vanished, compressed into nothing. Cerberus moved next. It unleashed a field of chronopulse mines, small orbs that blinked in and out of time. The Zarkith ships that moved too close found themselves frozen, crew unable to move. Systems locked mid-command. They drifted like statues in a sea of chaos. The human weapons were not just powerful, they were unnatural. Beyond the laws of physics, the galaxy understood. More Zarkith ships fell. Panic spread in a last attempt. Admiral Kor ordered the use of quantum destabilizers, illegal weapons, banned by galactic law. The destabilizers were launched, but the Leviathan simply opened a pocket in space, swallowed them whole. It had technology. To warp reality, the battle lasted 22 minutes. When it ended, only 1 Zarkith ship remained. It drifted, engines dead, surrounded by the wrecks of its fleet. Inside, the surviving officer sent a message to the Zarkith High Command. We cannot win. The humans have become Titans. Back on Earth, quiet signal was sent to all human listening posts. Message confirmed. Titan-class combat test successful. Defense phase to complete. And in orbit, the Leviathan turned its sensors toward the stars again. It knew more fleets would. come, but Earth was ready this time. They wouldn't just defend, they would lead. They would teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. The age of the Titan had begun. The Zarkith homeworld burned bright with rage. Holograms of their lost fleet played on every war screen. 48 ships erased, then 120 Morgan. No survivors. No battle damage logs. No return fire that made sense. Admiral. Vorik stood before the High Conclave. Shadows stretched across the room. 6 elders watched him from cold stone seats. This cannot be, one said. A single species cannot defeat us. Twice. They didn't just defeat us, Vorik answered. They made us vanish. Conclave hissed in disbelief. Another elder leaned forward, said they had 5 Titan-class ships. Do you believe that is all they have? No, Vorik said. I believe that's just the beginning. What do you suggest? Vorik looked up. His voice was cold, steady. Send everything. The room went still. All of it, the elders asked. Yes, the full armada. 800 ships. Weapons from the Black Vaults. Every dreadnought, every supercarrier, every ghost frigate. I want the stars to go dark when we arrive at Earth. Silence. Then slowly, the elders agreed. So they came. 2 weeks later, a hole opened in space, just beyond Jupiter. Not a jump. Tear. Zarkov's full armada poured through. 800 ships, 20 million crew. Ancient weapons, powered by stolen suns. Planet crackers, rift bombs, swarm clouds that ate metal. They had never deployed this force before, not even during the Galactic Purge. They expected a fight. Instead, they saw nothing. No human warships. No signal. No warning. Just space. Their scouts moved ahead and vanished. One by one, their long-range sensors stopped responding. Ships sent to investigate never returned. Inside the Zarkith dreadnought Veronix, Captain Tevik gritted his teeth. Why aren't they attacking? Where are their Titans? His second-in-command shook her head. No sign of them. But something is wrong. Gravity fields are shifting. We are being watched. They pushed forward anyway, deeper into the system. Past the asteroid belt. Past Mars, then, behind them, space opened again. 5 human Titan-class ships emerged. Leviathan, Cerberus, Ragnarok, Bastion, Nemesis. Each one glowed with soft red and silver light. They made no sound, no message, no demands, just presence. The Zarkith fleet turned to face them. Hundreds of ships aimed their weapons. Target the nearest Titan, Tevik ordered. Fire at will. They fired. A storm of light crashed into Leviathan. Plasma waves, quantum disruptors, planet buster torpedoes, and once again, nothing happened. The ship absorbed the attack like it, with sunlight on armor. Then the Titans responded, not with weapons, with silence, one by one. The human ships began to disappear, but they didn't leave. They shifted, phased, they flickered. Between dimensions, time warped. Zarkith's ships nearby lost sense of reality. Seconds stretched into minutes. Systems blinked and rebooted. Crews screamed as lights bent and sound reversed. Then came the real attack. From nowhere, 6 Zarkith carriers imploded. Their cores were twisted into infinite loops of mass so small they couldn't be seen anymore. Nemesis unleashed a gravity chain linking 12 ships and dragging them together into a sphere the size of a coin. Cerberus dropped a silence field. Any ship caught inside it could no longer communicate, think, or even breathe. Their crew's brains stopped firing. They simply slumped in their chairs. Systems shut down. Time froze. On the Zarkith bridge, Tevik roared, "Deploy the rift." Bomb. A massive black sphere was launched. It folded space-time itself. If it hit Earth, it would erase the planet from history. But Bastion opened a hole in space and swallowed it before it reached Mars. How? Tevik shouted. Then a message came. The voice again. Human.com. Double quotes. This is your final lesson. Every Zarkith's ship received it then. One by one, they started vanishing again, but this time, they didn't explode. They didn't burn. They just ceased to exist. No wrecks, no distress calls, no escape pods. It was as if the Titans were simply erasing reality. By the time the last Zarkath dreadnought tried to retreat, the human ships were no longer behind them. They were everywhere. Above, below, beside, inside. Vernex's final image, captured seconds before it vanished, showed the Leviathan up close. A single word glowed on its hull. Earth. After that, nothing. No wreckage. No black box. No signals. The second Zarketh armada was gone. 800 ships, wiped clean. The galaxy took notice. The Dralvins, who once called humans primitive, locked down their borders. The Akari emperors, who had mocked Earth's silence, sent diplomats. Even the old machine gods of the Orion Rift whispered among themselves, "Humanity has returned." Back on Earth, Commander Elise Rourke stood in the Leviathan's command bay. A quiet hum filled the room. "The battle was over. Status?" she asked. "Clean sweep," Goliath said. "No survivors. No weapons escaped containment. All data purged." "Nodded. Good. Deploy beacon net. Let the galaxy know this space is under human protection. Broadcasting now." Across space, a simple message spread. "Earth is not prey. Earth is protector. Stand down or be erased. No threats. Number. Boasts, just truth." And the galaxy listened. The stars were still. Across the galaxy, hundreds of civilizations watched the same footage in disbeliefs. Sarkith ships crumbling without cause. 800 vessels. Gone. No debris fields. No prisoners. No signal trails. Just Gondon, neutral. Ground near the edge of Andromeda's arm, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. They hadn't gathered like this in over 1,000 years, not since the Black Nova War. Now every seat was filled. Over 60 species, some insectoid, some crystalline, some pure energy, and at the center of it, an empty chair, marked with Earth's symbol. "The humans must answer," growled Chancellor Vire of the Clyri Dominion. His teeth were made of stone. "They wiped out a major empire without negotiation or trial." "They were provoked," said Ambassador Kral of the Nomari. "The Zarkith fired first twice. Earth never asked for war. They didn't just win," snapped another delegate. "They erased them. That's not self-defense. That's extinction." "They didn't erase a species," said Kral calmly. "Only a fleet? Only a fleet? That was their fleet. Then maybe they should have known better." The chamber grew tense. Lights dimmed. The Council's AI, a neutral observer system known as Judicor, activated its core. Its voice echoed across the hall, motion filed. Earth summoned to respond. Vote passed, 47-13. One abstention. And so Earth was called. A signal was sent to Ward. Sol, no reply. They sent it again. Still silence. The Council grew uneasy. On the third day, a ripple appeared in Council space. Not a ship, a pulse. Then 5 Titan-class vessels dropped out of warp. Just outside the Council's protected zone, Leviathan led them. Every species on the station froze. A Titan-class warship inside neutral space? Unheard of. Alarms rang. Defense platforms powered up. Fighters scrambled, but no fire came. Then a message was sent. Short, calm, requesting clearance. 1 human delegate, aboard, no weapons deployed. The Council hesitated, and allowed it A. Shuttle broke off from Leviathan and drifted to the docking bay. It was silent, small, but unnerving. Not because of how it looked, but because of who it carried. Commander Elise Rourke stepped onto the Council floor. No guards, no escort, just her. The silence was sharp. She walked slowly to the central platform, her uniform dark, clean, and cold. The Earth symbol glowed on her shoulder. "I am Commander Rourke," she said simply. "Earth answers your call."
S.
"Where are your diplomats?"
S.
Chancellor Vire barked. "You called for answers," she replied. "I give them. You didn't ask for apologies." Gasps spread through the chamber. One delegate stood. "You annihilated an empire." "No," Rourke said. "We defended our home. We warned them not to return. They did. In greater numbers, with banned weapons. They were still a sovereign force," someone yelled. "There are rules." Then where were those rules when Earth was watched, poked, and probed for 50 years? When your agents tried to sabotage our solar arrays and Zarkath bombers flew into our orbit unprovoked? No one answered. "I'll tell you where," she continued. "Nowhere. Because Earth was considered weak, alone. A backwater." Another voice cut in deep, slow, vibrating. "It belonged to the Ralza. It's an ancient hive mind that rarely spoke in public. You built Titan-class vessels. It's in secret, hidden from every known sensor, using stolen gravity tech. No, we didn't steal it," Rourke replied. "We built it. You think humanity only fights wars with bullets? But we fight with minds, too." Laughter spread from a few seats. "And now," said one sneering delegate, "you intend to play gods?" "No," Rourke said. "But we won't play victims again either." Suddenly the lights flickered. Then a council defense platform outside exploded. Everyone spun to their feet. "What was that?" shouted one delegate. Then came the broadcast. "Council Command, this is Patrol Grid 12. We're under attack. Unknown forces. Ships approaching fast signal matches Zarkath design." The entire chamber erupted, but the Zarkath fleet was destroyed. "Rogue elements," said Rourke instantly, already pulling up her wrist display. "Probably splinter forces. Loyalists with old command codes." "Then help us," the Nomari ambassador shouted. "They're heading straight for the station." Outside, 30 Zarkath warships dropped from warp. Older models, cracked hulls, no IFF tags. Pirates, deserters, extremists. But they still carried weapons. They opened fire. One council cruiser exploded instantly. "Commander." Rourke didn't wait. She tapped her cum. "This is Leviathan." "Permission to engage hostile forces within council space," Judicor replied. "Permission granted. Defense override." Rourke turned toward the chamber. "Now Earth will answer in your language." Above the station, the 5 Titans moved like predators. They didn't fire missiles. They didn't waste plasma. They warped. Each one bent light and matter, slipping through enemy fire, twisting space until the rogue Zarkath couldn't track them. Then they struck. Nemesis activated its temporal. Inverter raging one battleship 500 years in seconds. It crumbled into dust. Cerberus deployed Null Mind's gravity bombs that erased propulsion fields. 3 ships slammed into each other and collapsed. Leviathan didn't move. Simply opened a singularity. A micro-riftan pulled a cruiser into folded space. Within 6 minutes, every enemy ship was gone. The council watched in total silence. Rourke turned to them again. "We didn't come here to destroy," she said. "But we will not beg for peace." "What do you want?" someone whispered. She paused, then answered, "Respect." And with that, she walked away. Back to her shuttle. Back to Leviathan. As she departed, Judicor sent one final message to all. Council species. Humanity's voice has been heard. Their strength is real. Their restraint is a warning. From that day on, no one dared fly near Sol without permission, not even the Council. They thought Earth would stay quiet, after all the warnings. After the destruction of 2 armadas and the defense of the Galactic Council, many believed Earth would retreat again, hide behind their Titans, go silent as they always had. But Earth didn't go silent. It watched. It waited. And when one unknown vessel dared to break that silence, when it slipped past Earth's outer sensor net, flew low, and entered orbit without permission, that was when everything changed. The ship was small. No weapons were visible. Its signal was weak. Maybe it was a scout. Maybe it was lost. Maybe it was bait, but it broke Earth's boundary, and that triggered Protocol 0. No alarms blared in cities, no sirens, just one soft pulse sent deep into the Earth's defense core, in the Titan-class warship Leviathan, orbiting behind. The moon, Commander Elise Rourke, saw the alert first. She didn't flinch. "Who breached the net?" she asked. "Goliath," the AI responded instantly. "Unidentified vessel. Not Zarkith. Not Council. Stealth optimized. No IFF signal. It's in geosynchronous orbit above old Russia. Cloaked. Partially not enough. They wanted to be seen." Elise narrowed her eyes. "They want to test us again, yes?" She didn't wait. "Activate final protocol. Full planetary lockdown. Defense grid live. All of Earth." Goliath asked. "All of it? At once? Across the planet, invisible systems came to life. Uncoiled from dormant positions. Storm grids lit up in the stratosphere. Ion cannons and rail platforms hidden in mountain ranges and ocean trenches slid into place. No one on Earth saw a thing, but above, in orbit. The unknown vessel did. Its pilot an insectoid creature from a fringe empire called the Grelthor grinned. "Inside his sealed helmet, they're activating everything," he hissed. "Perfect." The ship opened its cargo bay. Inside was not a bomb. It's not a weapon. It was a probe. Black. Spiked. Alive. It launched. Diving toward Earth's surface like a falling star, but it never reached the clouds, from deep under the Atlantic. A single beam of light lanced upward, white, silent, straight and struck the probe mid-dash fall. It froze, cracked, and then vanished, not exploded. Erased. The Grelthor pilot's grin faded. "What was that?" he whispered. His ship tried to flee. Too late. The sky shimmered. 3 Titan-class ships phased into high orbit, forming a triangle around the intruder. Cerberus, Bastion, RAG and AROK. No comes. No warnings, just presence. The Grelthor knew the stories. He'd heard the fate of the Zarkith. He'd seen the vids of the Council attack. But he hadn't believed Earth's reach was this fast. It's precise. He sent a distress signal. No response. Then a voice came into his cockpit. Not loud, not angry, just calm. "You broke Earth's shield. You triggered final protocol. You're not authorized to exist in this space." "I didn't attack," the pilot screamed. "I only observed. I was told you would tolerate scouts." No answer. Just light. A field formed around the ship like a crystal web of glowing threads. Every molecule inside began to slow. He watched his own hands freeze in mid-motion. Then everything turned dark. From Leviathan, Elise watched it happen. "Subject neutralized," Goliath confirmed. "No data escaped." "Good. Debrief Council Command. Already watching." Back at the Galactic Council, hundreds of species viewed the live footage in horror. One delegate leaned forward. "That was a scout from the Grelthor. They claimed neutrality." "They also claimed not to fear Earth," muttered the Nomari ambassador. And now, the chamber fell quiet. On Earth, news never broke about the event. People went to work. Children played. No. One noticed the planet had just defended itself from a near-invisible incursion. But the leaders knew. In the orbital command hall of Leviathan, Commander Rourke turned toward the planetary feed. "What's the status of the grid?" she asked. "Fully charged," said Goliath. "Final protocol is now in passive mode." "Good. I want the Titans in a rotating defense pattern. We're not waiting for the next one." "Understood." She paused, then added, "Send the warning." Who? Everyone. And so it was. A message was sent out across every known hyperlane, every relay point, every secured diplomatic channel. It was short. Earth is no longer asking. Earth is watching. That day, 6 civilizations canceled planned reconnaissance missions. 2 minor empires recalled their scouts from Sol's Edge. The Grelthor Empire never answered, because no one ever heard from their scout again. And Earth, it didn't gloat. It didn't boast. It simply turned its eyes outward and waited. Deep in the Cradle Nebula, where even light moved slowly, something ancient woke up. It had no name anymore, no face, no shape, only a signal. For 10,000 years, this AI had remained buried inside a hollow moon, sealed by its makers during the last galactic purge. Its creators had long since died, consumed by their own ambition. But the AI remembered, it watched, it listened, and when it heard the humans speak, it stirred. The message had traveled far. Earth is no longer asking. Earth is watching. The words were plain, but the weight behind them, the AI understood. More than any living being ever could. Across the stars, empires whispered and worried. Fleets paused at the edges of Sol. Spy networks ran silent, laughed at first until their probes vanished, or their envoys never returned. And then, the AI did something it hadn't done in millennia. It transmitted every ancient relay station. On the outer rim blinked awake. Obsolete satellites, forgotten deep in dead systems, came online. Machines long buried in dust received the pulse. The message was simple. Warning, do not test humanity. And that message spread fast. The Karoo swarm picked it up first. Hey there. Queen Matron studied it in her biopool, sensing the meaning behind each coded glyph. Her advisors begged her to ignore it. She didn't. She turned her war tendrils away from Earth's path. Then came the Hilari collector's old machine life, who had once stripped entire star clusters for resources, measured risk, measured human strength, compared the known losses of the Zarketh Armada, and stopped mining near Sol. Even the silent ones like the Gasborn of Tyros Omega felt it. They had no mouths or eyes, but when the message echoed through subspace, they released a cloud of color that meant only one thing: danger. In the Council's secret war room, deep beneath their core station, panic swelled. Ambassador Krall of the Nomari was the first to speak. This thing that sent the warning. What is it? Judicor. The Council's central AI hesitated. Designation unknown. Its signal pattern predates our current cycle. It's possibly pre-extinction age. You mean it's older than the Council? Yes. And it fears the humans. It stopped the room cold. The Council had faced black hole creatures, quantum viruses, star-forged gods. Nothing like this. If it's warning us, said Krall slowly, then what do the humans really have? Judicor displayed a projection. It showed the destruction of the first Zarketh fleet, then the second, then the rogue Grelther scout, and then its footage never seen before. A shadow drifting through Jupiter's storm bands. Something massive. Bigger than even Titan-class ships. A human structure. Buried in the gas giant. No official name. No registry. Just a heat signature the size of a small moon. Krall leaned forward. What is that? We don't know, Judicor admitted. Has Earth said anything about it? No. The chamber went quiet again. And then, another signal from the ancient AI. This time it was direct. It showed old records, galaxies burned. By arrogance. Civilizations erased by reckless attacks. Empires that thought strength came from numbers, not caution. And then, a final line. I have seen monsters. The humans are not monsters. But they have monsters under their command. Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Elise Rourke stood atop the Leviathan's observation deck. She had heard the message too. The warning. She looked at the display of the ancient AI signal. Do we respond? Goliath asked. No, she said. Why? Not because it told the truth. She turned toward the dark side of Earth. Where the stars stretched like frozen fire, they don't need more warnings, she said. They need to remember what silence means. Goliath paused. Are you afraid the AI might reveal everything? No, it knows better. And so does the galaxy now. Just then, a private message came in from the Nomari ambassador. Not a demand. Not a request. Just a short, quiet message. We understand. Earth is not to be touched. Commander Rourke smiled faintly. The point had been made. Back in the Cradle Nebula, the ancient AI powered down most of its systems. The warning was delivered. Its job was done. It returned to sleep, though its last line stayed active in the code. Let them rise. Or let them be, but never provoke Earth again. Across the galaxy, fleets adjusted their charts. No jump points near Sol, no. Probes into the asteroid belt, no visits without invitation, because now they knew. The humans didn't shout. They didn't. scream, they only moved once, and when they did, stars went dark. The Titan-class warship Nemesis drifted silently near the edge of the Deneb system. To most sensors, it looked like empty metal. Dark, cold, dead. But that illusion never lasted. Long Nemesis wasn't dead. It was hunting. It had been tracking a signal, something hidden. Faint energy bursts buried inside Deneb's asteroid belt. Not a known beacon. Not a trade route. Something else. Commander Alina Reyes, stationed aboard Nemesis, leaned forward in her command chair. Her fingers hovered over the armrest where a single command could light up the entire ship's arsenal. She didn't press it, not yet. "Status report," she said. Her XO Lieutenant Coda replied, "Still no ID on the signal, but the pattern repeats every 7 minutes." "No response to hails?" Reyes narrowed her eyes. "They're trying to bait us. Get close, then hit." Coda nodded. "Just like the Zarketh, before they vanished." "I hate reruns," Reyes muttered. Then the ship's sensors flared. Not one signal now, not two, 12. 12 jump signatures, shouted the ops officer. "They're surrounding us." The display filled with markers. Ships closing in from every angle. Sharp, jagged holes, deep red glows. Not Council, not Zarketh. Something new or something old. Dash returning. No diplomacy. No transmissions. Only weapons coming online. Rhea stood. Her voice didn't shake. "Bring the main cannon online. Full power. Arm all point defense nodes." "But they're jamming long range comes," Coda warned. "Can't call for help." Reyes didn't blink. "We don't need help. They do."
Ow!
The enemy ships opened fire. Lances of energy slammed into Nemesis's shields. Metal groaned. Systems flickered, but the Titan didn't move. Reyes waited. Watched double quotes return fire. Send a single pulse. Just one. It left the bow of Nemesis like a whisper through space silent. Glowing faintly blue. Then it struck. 3 enemy ships vanished instantly. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. Wiped from Spana. The rest of the fleet panicked. But it was too late. Nemesis had already shifted using its temporal phase drive. The warship bent itself through dimensions, sliding between coordinates faster than light. It reappeared behind the closest destroyer, tore it apart with a rail cannon burst, then vanished again, within 60 seconds. 8 of the 12 ships were destroyed. The 9th tried to flee. Reyes locked onto it. "Message them," she said. "Coda." "Looked confused after all this?" "Yes, just one line." He nodded. Sent the text that appeared on the enemy's cracked screen. "You picked the wrong ghost." The fleeing ship didn't answer. It turned toward a warp corridor, desperate to escape. But as it engaged its drive, a gravity spike from Nemesis shattered its core. Gone. Only one ship remained, now heavily damaged. "Try to fight." It just sent a signal. Single phrase, "What are you?" Reyes read it, then answered, "Human," and vaporized it. After the battle, Nemesis resumed silent orbit. No bragging, no signals. Just the wreckage of 12 advanced warships drifting in the cold. A week later, pieces of those ships were found by salvage drones belonging to neutral traders. The footage leaked to over 100 systems. The story spread faster than hyperdrives could carry it. 12 ships surrounded the human Titan. Only one made it 10 minutes. None returned. The galaxy panicked. Old powers canceled war games. The Council raised security alerts to maximum and in the shadows. The species who had built those 12 ships, ones who had remained hidden for centuries, finally spoke among themselves. "We awakened something too soon," one whispered. Another nodded. "It was just one Titan. There are more, and they are watching." Meanwhile, in Sol System, Nemesis returned to Earth's orbit. It said nothing. But every Titan across the fleet got the same silent update. The enemy was testing the humans again. And Earth had replied, not with words, but with one ship and pure destruction. They called them Titans. massive. Dark and silent human warships that moved like ghosts and struck like gods. It's built for no empire but Earth, answerable to no one but their commanders. The galaxy had seen their power, and now the galaxy was afraid. Not just afraid of the ships, but of what lay behind them. Because after Nemesis destroyed 12 high-tech warships alone, rumors spread like fire in dry brush. The Titans weren't Earth's last defense. They were Earth's first move in deep space. Gathering of galactic powers met in a hidden system called Varix 4. 52 delegates sat around a cold, artificial sun. No media, no public feeds. Just fear. They cannot be reasoned with, hissed the Drexy ambassador. They haven't attacked us, countered the Nomeri yet, spat a Zarkith survivor. That ship erased 12 advanced vessels in minutes. Who builds something like that, unless they mean war? Judicor, the Council's central AI, processed the question with cold logic. Their actions are consistent with strategic deterrence. They only strike when provoked. And if someone pushes them again? The Hellery asked. No one answered finally. The oldest delegate high speaker, Auric, of the Shalaris stood. We must stop treating Earth as if it is like us, he said. It is not. The humans are something new, something terrifying. He looked around. They speak softly. But behind them stand machines that bend time, tear gravity, and erase fleets. He paused, and worse. I do not believe we have seen all they possess. He was right, because far beneath the surface of Earth, a sealed Arctic vault known only as Vault Zero. The Titans were not the most advanced weapons humanity had made. There were others. Sentinels, biomech giants stored in cryovaults. Designed to awaken only when Earth itself was under threat. Shade's Black Hawk ships with no engines. Powered by folded dark energy. Able to phase into enemy territory and collapse entire fleets with a single quantum pulse. Project Vanta. Living satellite. System orbiting the sun's corona. Able to blind any star system within 1,000 light years by weaponizing solar output, and those were just the prototypes. Inside Vault Zero, Director Marin Kale reviewed system logs. Alone, surrounded by relics of weapons that hadn't yet seen. Space Dot, a message came in. Top priority, eyes only. It was from Commander Rourke. Aboard Leviathan, the Titans are no longer enough. Kale didn't respond. She simply turned to her console and began activating dormant systems. Across Earth, hidden. Hangars lit up. Arctic doors opened. Deep-sea gates began to rise. The silence of the past was over. Humanity had been patient now, was preparing in the far reaches of the galaxy. The races who once mocked Earth now begged for non-aggression pacts. Others sent gifts. One even offered their homeworld as tribute. Earth answered. None of them. It didn't need to, because the new doctrine was clear. No more warnings from their new war council on the moon. Human commanders viewed the star charts. Systems once red with conflict were going dark. Pirates were vanishing. Illegal fleets were abandoning their routes. Why? Because rumors now whispered of more than Titans. Entire stars that blinked out for hours came back altered. Massive. Shadows seen moving between gas giants too big to be ships. Too smooth to be natural. One trader reported a planet suddenly appearing in a system that didn't have one before, and then disappearing a week later. Some believed Earth had learned to move worlds. Others said Earth had allied with something worse than any AI, but those who knew the truth didn't speak. They didn't need to. Earth was no longer a backwater. No. Longer the silent rock on the edge of the galaxy. Earth had watched the stars for too long now. It was standing, not as part of the galaxy, but as its new apex. And for the first time since the Council was formed, the gay vote passed with 100% agreement. No. Nation, empire, or species shall enter Sol without permission. Anyone who did would not return. The Titans were still in orbit, still waiting, still silent. But now they weren't alone. The sky over Earth shimmered with new shapescraft with no names. Weapons with no visible parts, power signatures too strange to decode, galactic. Observers tried to study them. None succeeded. Their signals were jammed, their probes fell apart, and their memories strangely always faded when they got too close. Humanity didn't deny it, but it never confirmed either, because Earth had become what every empire feared most: unknowable, unstoppable, and ready. In the end, the ancient AI from the Cradle Nebula sent one final message before disappearing forever. I warned you. The Titans were only the beginning. The galaxy finally understood, and no one tested Earth again.